Kenny here with Gardening Simplified. We're out here by the fig tree and we're going to do a propagation update. And these ones weren't propagated this last summer, or this last winter, but as you can see, they're getting loaded up with figs on there. So it won't be long I'll get to taste some. We're having to water these. If I was to not keep them watered, these would just end up dropping all their figs. But that one's loaded up pretty good. This one here's got a few. It's not loaded quite so heavy. My Cadota fig over here, now it's got a few, as you can see. It's getting a little height on it, being it came back from the ground. So that's all this year. But my brown turkeys, no figs yet. So we'll see how that does. Let's go down and see the main bunch of them. Now we have so many figs in the ground here. This first row here, which they're all doing pretty good. There's one down there looks like it wants some water. Of course, they'll get some more tomorrow. They've got water, it's just the heat's so rough. Now, of course, these aren't figs. These are my Roselle hibiscus. Now, if some of you know, I might have said something earlier. I believe I did. But anyway, this time I decided to, when I put out my Roselle hibiscus, I was going to put them somewhere where I could leave them, because here in zone 8B, these should, because the weather, unless it really gets cold, these should grow as a perennial, I'm hoping, and so that way they'll just come back every year. And because they are, if they're in the right temperature. But I've got quite a bit of them compared to what I had before. Now, this here row is not propagation either. This is my pumpkins. They're not going to be none too big, even though they were big varieties. I have one that's just almost ripe there. It's kind of undersized, but I don't really care. I just wanted to make sure I grew some pumpkins. Now we do have more grass than I'd like around these. As you can see, some of these they're doing pretty good. I just had to retill that section, and I'm going to have to extend the drip line. I got to get those other plants out. But I have these in here, and really these up here need to be composted around. They definitely don't like competing for nutrients with the grass competing with them and disturbing disturbing the roots from them. But I'll come back and I'll compost around these. I've already done part of them. But figs like a pretty good amount of water, and the way we've been dry, we've had our drip system going. These that are here were like to get shade a little bit. You can see how much quicker they're growing because our heat. They like sun, but they like a little bit of a breather from the sun. But we've started composting around some, taking help their roots. All these figs here were started from December on from cuttings, so these are all the propagated figs that we have. Now over here we have our elderberries. Now the same thing, they would do a lot better if they do not like competing with the weeds, especially the first couple of years till they get the roots established. Now they are blooming. They're setting berries on here. The big thing is just trying to keep them alive, because as far as elderberries, they like a pretty good bit of water. Now we do run this thing for, well, in fact, we run it a couple times overnight to build up some. We're just really hoping for some rain. But you can see how these fig leaves are curling or they're wilting down, and that's a sign that they're dropping water out of their leaves, because they transpire or sweat just like we do, and they try to minimize the amount in their leaves so that they can survive. But anyway, that's our propagation update, and I hope this maybe encourages you to get started. Now, there are quite a few fig trees here, and some of these and down there do actually have a few figs on them if they haven't dropped them. They come on. Gino, I think, is one. It come on real quick with figs, even though it was a small plant. And but I hope this encourages you to get out there and start your food forest or your orchard, whatever you want to call it. I hope you liked it. And if you want to see more, hit that subscribe, hit the bell button, and give it a big thumbs up. Happy gardening.